there is going to come a time, maybe even tomorrow, when I do make some videos about the Jay Slater case. And I've literally thought about it, and I tried to leave it alone because everybody was being so hateful towards me, when I really don't feel like I've done anything wrong in this case. But there are absolutely mad stuff being put out there, and things that are so offensive, and no one's saying anything about it. But then I got all that hate for basically pointing out the facts. Now, you have Katie Hopkins today, who in the last night she made a video saying Jay Slater was bummed to death, and goes on and on and on about how it's really funny what happened to him. He was bummed to death. Everyone shouldn't be offended by it. It's not our fault that he was doing this, this and this. And every single comment in that video is going, haha, so funny, so funny, so funny. Yeah, I would never say anything about that. Even when people have come in the room and said, do you think it could have been an essay? I've said, I see no signs of that, and I'm not going to talk about that trauma if I can't, unless someone puts it out and says, actually, this happened to him, I'm not going to discuss that as an option. This is a person. I've seen people show videos going, do you think that's Jay's body on the rocks? Do you think that could be him? Oh, it's his remains. Let's kind of guess what parts of Jay they found. And them people, because they've got smaller accounts, or they don't have so many people in their lives, they're okay to do that. If I honestly believe that I had an image that showed Jay's body, I would never, ever show you. I would never show you. I would never make a video. I would never put it out on the FYP, because it is somebody's son and it is somebody's child. And above being a creator, I am a mother, and I would never do that. Now, if a picture come out online, we may discuss it. If you ask me, do you think it's him? And I would be like, no, I don't. It doesn't look like that to me. I certainly would not make a video. And I've seen countless videos on the FYP today, because I've had a little look around. And there's like one girl who's taken a picture of the ravine off of Down the Rapids video, and she's like, I can see his eyes there, I can see his nose there. And I'm like, how have you got 16,000 likes on that video? But if I question so much as, how is the GoFundMe at 70k and we're still collecting, then that's a problem. But I would say in any case, that there is a lot of unanswered questions. Now, I have to say, this investigation was handled shit from the very beginning. There are so many things that have not been done. Their phones have not yet been looked for through. The car has not been forensically examined. There is a lot of reason to believe that we don't even know if Jay was ever alive at that Airbnb. We don't know at which stage he died. We know he's been found with countless broken bones. We don't know which broken bones, and we know that the police are saying to his parents, we are not going to highlight exactly where we found Jay. Jay's parents even sent out the Dutch search team to try and go out and see if they could identify an area or exactly what part they think Jay may have been found in, and they don't know. When people say leave him in peace, right? You have a 19-year-old boy here who's died in very suspicious circumstances, and you guys read a newspaper headline that is pushed by the media and the Tenerife police, that absolutely we should just accept that a 19-year-old boy went on holiday and never came home. But what Jay needs is justice, and his family have those same questions. His dad and mum had them last week after he'd been found, and they shouldn't have to alone ask for those questions, like why was he scared? Why was he going in the opposite direction? Why was he in the Maska village? Now, we know, for example, certain evidence, and obviously I don't know if Mark's going to put it out or not, certain evidence was found at the Airbnb which proved at least some parts of their statement were untrue. We know, and someone on my video, this woman called Izzy, I think, said it's absolutely impossible that anything else happened to Jay other than he fell off that cliff. Now, I'm like, unless you were there, Izzy, you can't say it was impossible. You cannot say it was impossible. I don't see what about this case would make you think it's impossible that at the very least Jay ran off that cliff, terrified, and didn't even take time to look at the drop. But we don't know. I think if you literally consume a lot of true crime content, or you cover true crime cases, I could highlight to you 4 or 5 cases where people have been died by being pushed off a cliff, and it's taken a whole wealth of information for police to gather that information. And that means certain things like looking into phones, looking into communication. And we saw that case recently, the famous case in the UK, which was the man who pushed his pregnant wife off the cliff in Scotland. And the only reason they found out that she was pushed is because they looked through his phone and found a whole wealth of domestic violence and threats. So all I'm asking for is for the phone to be looked into, to see if the car has any sign of a struggle, any kind of blood. I'm asking for the Airbnb to be forensically examined. And in any other case, including in Britain, the 2 men would have been arrested straight away. Lucy's phone would have been taken away. But there are so many questions. And I don't know if you've seen the numbers in my room yet, and I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I do not need to cover Jay Slater's case for any kind of cred, any kind of views, any amount of gifting. I did a completely different case last night. We still had nearly 3k people in the room the whole night. I don't need to do it. I am driven by a sense of justice because I've started the case and I see so many red flags and nobody wants to talk about it anymore. There is going to come a time, maybe